And welcome everyone to ESPN College Football, presented by Jimmy John's from the corner of Broadway and University here in Boise, Idaho, under the lights at Albertson Stadium. It's number 23, Boise State, hosting the Pac-12's Washington Huskies. And the storyline for the last 9 months has been the return of this guy, Chris Petersen, the former head coach at Boise State for 8 years. Prior to that, an assistant for 5 years. A stir, a swell of emotions rolling through him head to toe as he took to the field a little bit earlier. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones alongside Rod Gilmore. Quint Kessenich join us in just a bit. And Rod, for months we've been talking about this, and it's interesting to note the variance in the emotions of Coach Petersen as he took the field earlier this week too. Yeah, it's a strange situation. He's called it awkward a couple of months ago. He said that emotional, and it should be emotional. He's got 49 former players at Boise State that he recruited. He's got another 20 guys over there that will be starting for Boise State, and he took 6 recruits from Boise State to Washington with him, and he was the mentor to the head coach at Boise State, so it's really emotional. They've got a lot of connections. It was interesting to see the reception he got from some of the fans as he came through the tunnel a little bit earlier. It was slightly warm, but let's talk about the quarterback situation. On both sides of the ledger tonight, there are some serious questions about one on who starts, the other how well he's going to do. Well, inexperienced quarterbacks on both sides. For Boise State, you've got Ryan Finley, redshirt sophomore. He now becomes the starter after waiting his turn. For Washington, we think we're going to see Jake Browning. He is a true freshman. People that we know have called him the second coming of Kellen Moore, the great Boise State quarterback. Is he ready for his opener? Well, he's going to get a shot, but we expect to see other quarterbacks for Washington as well. For the last several weeks, Chris Petersen has kept the media and people who have speculated at bay as to who his starting quarterback would be. Would it be Browning? Would it be Lindquist? Would it be Carter Samuels? We'll find out for sure, definitively, in a few moments. First, though, Washington winning the toss, deferring to the second half. Boise State will receive the opening kick. Back deep, it's Kelsey Young and Jeremy McNichols for the Broncos. There's a look at McNichols, number 13. He'll be their starting tailback. And we are underway. It'll come back out. First down and 10 for Ryan Finley, the starting quarterback. He only played in 5 games last year, completed 12 passes. He has limited experience, but for most of the summer, he had a good distance between himself and the other players at the position, and finally, after the second scrimmage, took control as the starting quarterback. Well, I think he was presumed to be the guy in spring until he had an off-the-field incident that had him arrested, and they kind of pushed him back in line with everyone else, and he solidified himself as the starter during fall camp. The 6'4" sophomore out of Phoenix, Arizona, has it first down and 10 from the 25. They'll hand it off, and a nice gain of about 5 yards by Jeremy McNichols, who didn't see a lot of action early in the season last year, but really became one of their key cogs offensively as the year progressed. Second and 4 after the 6-yard gain. And Finley is going to take off. Stopped about 2 yards shy. So, Rod, third down and 2 coming up. What do you like out of a Boise offense at this point? Well, you know, they don't have what they had last year in Jay Ajayi as a powerful inside runner. They're trying to find that person now. Is that McNichols, or do they feel they need to throw the ball? Well, we've seen them in third down situations really look for short passes, pick routes, but you know they want to reestablish a rushing attack with that offensive line. Jay Ajayi now with the Miami Dolphins. They're going to run it and get stoned back at the 30-yard line. A good surge up front from Azim Victor, and a good hit on Jeremy Nichols. So it'll be fourth down on the 3 and out coming up. And a nice sequence to start the game by Clay and the rest of that Husky defense. Yeah, that's a defense that a lot of people wrote off after they lost so many people in last year's NFL draft. But that was a tremendous third down stop. Now we'll get a chance to see what Washington does on offense and who comes out as quarterback. Whale standing on his own 17-yard line. It takes a Bronco bounce down to the 31-yard line where Dante Pettis catches the ball, and it'll be Browning to come out as the starting quarterback. Jake Browning is a true freshman, folks, 6'2", 205 pounds, out of California. Get this, he threw 91 touchdown passes last year. And as a senior, was the high school player of the year. Rod, some very impressive statistics, but things are different under the searing bright lights on a Friday night here in Boise.
Well, so many of us who had that first freshman game felt the anxiety, the shortness of breath. Takes you a while to get it all settled down.
On first down, out just beyond the 30-yard line, Washington brought down by Correa.
Browning threw 10 touchdown passes in his first high school start as a freshman. Considered a bit of a phenom.
He can spin it in. He's very familiar, actually. The coaches from both these staffs are very familiar with him. A 1-yard gain on first down. Dwayne Washington sets behind the quarterback, Jake Browning. And there's his first collegiate completion. Out to Washington. He lost the ball. And he's brought down at the 33, recovered by Washington as Dwayne Washington. Dante Dion made the hit to knock it loose, but we talked about it earlier. Washington has a little bit of a proclivity to put it on the ground.
Yeah, he did that a little bit last year. In one game in particular, dropped it on the ground a couple times. Now on a third down, you do want to protect your quarterback. You see the fumble there. Empty formation when you have no additional blockers in the backfield. Teams like to bring pressure. Now they've got one back here. Do they give him more protection?
On 3rd and 7, the true freshman with his second completion, Jadon Mickens makes the catch. And it looks like he's going to get just enough, depending on the spot, for the first down. Jadon Mickens is going to be a key player for them this year, but there's a flag down back at the 28-yard line. We'll see if this stands. A pickup of 7 on the play.
Personal foul, roughing the quarterback. Defense, number 8. He hit the quarterback at the knees. This is a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Kamala Correa.
It's just kind of telling him you're not at Folsom High School anymore. That's kind of a low hit, though. You want to protect the quarterback's knees. Good call by the refs there.
So Jake Browning here on his opening drive of his collegiate career, with a couple of completions. This time hands it off to Washington, and Washington out to the 39-yard line, where he's brought down by Tanner Vallejo and Summer Gardner.
You know, Browning is part of this new wave of young quarterbacks, kids who have quarterback coaches. He started working with a quarterback coach at the age of 10. Troy Taylor, former Cal quarterback out in the Sacramento area, has tutored him for years, including in high school.
2nd down and 6. Pettis in motion to the top of your screen. Washington takes the handoff over the 40 down to the 39-yard line. That'll set up a 3rd down coming up for the Huskies. All right, thanks a lot, Dave. We're looking at 3rd down and 4 for the Huskies on their opening drive of the ball game, after Boise State was forced into a 3-and-out. This is a true freshman quarterback, Jake Browning, at the controls. They get rid of it quickly. Dwayne Washington gets the catch, but he's brought down at about the 37-yard line by Dante Dion, short of the first down by a couple of yards.
First decision for Chris Peterson, now standing on the opposite sideline after having been the head coach here. He's going for it on his 4th down. Not a surprise.
4th and 2. Little motion up front on the left side of that offensive line. Shelton and Eldrenkamp The starters on that left side for the Huskies.
False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
And that changes the equation a little bit, of course.
Yep. 4th and 7, a lot different than 4th and 2. Got to kick it now.
Interesting that Chris Peterson, the former head coach at Boise State for 8 years, who was here 13 years in all as an assistant and head coach, making his homecoming. His old home was about 4 miles from Albertson Stadium here. As Dion signals for the fair catch back at his own 7-yard line. As we look at some of the major storylines coming into this, the 4th meeting all time between these two teams. Chris Peterson making his return, something that's been talked about for 9 months now. Washington starting a true freshman quarterback, Jake Brining. And Boise State has won 14 consecutive home games. Rod Gilmore, that is the 3rd longest streak in the nation. Hey, partner, good to be back for another college football season, right?
Glad it's back.
Quinn Kesenick down on the sideline, and so far we saw Boise State go 3 and out on the opening series. What do you make about how they get out of the gate in this game?
Well, you know, Finley's got to get comfortable. He's not been a starter until tonight, so he's an inexperienced guy trying to get a handle on things here. A lot of emotions.
They hand it off to Jeremy McNichols, and one of the big factors for Boise State this year, they're replacing Jay Ajayi, who is now with the Miami Dolphins. He got a boatload of touches last year, so that's a big question mark for them.
About 400 touches when you combine his catches and his carries, and this team likes to run the football inside, and they're trying to find a back to replace him. I'm not sure there's one guy who can do it on this team.
Nice run into the boundary. Stays on his feet. McNichols picks up the first down of the season for Boise State.
McNichols, McWeapon.
That's what they call him in these parts. A 16-yard pickup for the first down.
They burned his red shirt last season to get him on the field because he can make explosive plays, and you saw a little speed there.
First down and 10 out at the 25 now. Finley off the play fake, has a man in the seam, and it's almost intercepted. Nice recovery on the play by number 32, Buda Baker, arguably the most dynamic player in the secondary for Washington.
Well, he's an outstanding safety. He's a young man who can play some single coverage from that safety spot. You see it right there. Committed to Oregon and then switched and went to Washington.
Great two-way player coming out of high school. Buda Baker had that great bowl game. The Cactus Bowl appearance, had that big interception for the Huskies. Second down and 10 for Boise State. Little receiver screen, but that's going to be incomplete. Intended for Shane Williams-Rhodes, their leading receiver a season ago.
You know, this is the second series we've seen this Washington defense do a good job on early downs. This is a team that lost 3 first-round picks last season and a second-round pick, all off their defense. And so far tonight, first 2 series, they've been pretty good.
That secondary thought to be one of the strengths of their defense. 3rd and long coming up for the Broncos. A couple of receivers into the boundary. Pass complete to McNichols out of the backfield, and he's close to that first down marker. Let's see where they spot it. Looks like he's got enough for the first down. Got a great block out front from the tight end, Jake Rowe.
And so far, they are giving McNichols all he can handle. Give him the ball to him, throwing it to him, much the way they used Ajayi last year.
First down and 10 for Boise State. McNichols now sets in the backfield and takes the handoff. Hours ahead for a couple of yards. Azim Victor making the stop for Washington. Yeah, Rod, you talked about this Husky defense. 3 first-rounders gone. They lost 4 players to the NFL draft in the first 44 picks. And this is a tough night for them to come in under these lights and play against a Boise State team that returns a lot of starters.
That's why they are considered double-digit underdogs in this game.
Kelsley Young, the Stanford transfer, in the backfield. Pass is complete. Out to the 43-yard line. That's Holden Huff, the backup tight end.
You know, it's not often that you find a Pac-12 team one that has a reputation of going on the road to a non-Power 5 conference team and being an underdog. That's the kind of respect that Boise State has generated over the last few years, chiefly because of Chris Peterson.
Well, the last time these two teams met, Boise State was trounced 38-6, and there's a lot of Broncos that still remember that game. Young in the backfield and comes out wide open. They turn him loose. Young with a first down inside the 35. Buda Baker finally stopped him at the 33.
Yeah, Jonesy, a little bit of a pick play there. Run guys inside. They block off the inside coverage, and you get a guy free on the outside. Seen that a few times, huh?
Yeah, you're smiling because you mentioned the magic word, a pick play. Here's Kelsey Young, the Stanford transfer again, brought down by Tupou on the play. But Young is a senior playing on this Broncos squad with his brother.
Picked up his degree from Stanford, wanted a chance to go elsewhere and become an every down back. Didn't think he'd have that opportunity at Stanford. Here he is on the blue turf.
Second down and 6. Young again, little or no gain on the play. He was the second leading rusher on that Cardinal team last year. Sets up a long third down coming up.
Yeah, he was primarily used as a change of pace running back, an outside guy. Scored a touchdown in the Rose Bowl a couple years ago on a reverse. Really a guy with good quickness.
11th play of the drive for Boise State. Play clock down to 7. Finley on the option, hands it off, and they're going to be stopped up short of the first down. That was Young again. Got a couple of yards, so we saw Peterson go for it. What do you make of Boise State here?
Well, that was a 2-down territory call. Ran that one figuring that they would go for it on 4th down, and they believe in their offensive line. They've got 6 guys they think are starters, playing 5 of them obviously, and they think this is the strength of their team.
Tyler Rosso is a relatively new place kicker for Boise State, so he's going to stay on the sidelines. McNichols comes back into the ball game. Now motions out of the backfield. Finley going to take off, has the first down at the 20-yard line. And he keeps the drive alive for Boise State.
He's been smart. He's been under control. He's made good decisions. That's Finley.
Picked up 4 on the play. Handoff once again to Jeremy McNichols. Brought down by Corey Littleton.
Now, partner, in all the tape we were watching on Boise State, you kept pointing out, you know, Rod, when they get down here inside that 25-yard line, you kind of see trick plays out of them. I said, yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me in this kind of a game.
Yeah, but the guys on the other sideline know those trick plays.
I know that you know that I know that I do trick plays down here.
2nd and 7. Anderson in motion to the top of your screen. On the play action fake, Finley again. There's some nice scrambling, picks up 5 on the play. Going to spot it back at the 13-yard line. Elijah Qualls made the stop. And another 3rd down coming up. They've been able to convert several times on 3rd down on this drive. There's Brian Harsin, the second-year head coach, former player here at Boise State.
Wildcat.
Jeremy McNichols now going to take the direct snap with this Wildcat formation. Fakes the handoff and gets another first down. So they are firing on all cylinders offensively right now.
You know, that offensive line, they really believe in. You go to the Wildcat, you take out Finley, bring another lineman in, and just power ahead. Now they've got opportunities on a 1st and short down here, 1st and 7. A lot of options.
Enough again to McNichols. Bouncing outside. Touchdown Broncos. Nichols with his second rushing touchdown of his career, and the extra point, no good. And the score remains 6-0. Back after this.
Welcome back to Dick's Sporting Goods Kickoff Week.
A very impressive 16-play, 92-yard drive by the Broncos, and they lead 6-0. And there's a guy right there that was doing a lot of the heavy lifting, Jeremy McNichols. Working on those hamstrings a little bit.
Help from Ryan Finley making some key runs as well.
That extra point was blocked by Buda Baker. That's Washington on the kickoff return. And we're going to take a little break. When we come back, you know, Jake Browning came on campus in January, but he's ready to take Boise State to school when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. A look at Albertson Stadium in the background there. 6-0 Boise State, number 23 with the lead. College football primetime presented by Jimmy John's. Mark Jones, Rod Gilmore, Clint Kesenick down on the sidelines, and that is Jake Browning, the true freshman quarterback who threw 91 touchdowns last year as a senior in high school. Came onto campus in Seattle in January to get acclimated, and has really done a great job, of course, having won the starting job. Three of three so far passing for a total of 8 yards. Pass is going to be ruled complete at the 32-yard line to Dante Pettis.
You know, Browning also has a connection to Boise State. You know, Chris Peterson was the coach at Boise State when he made a random stop at Folsom High School and noticed Browning. And one of the coaches there, Troy Taylor, who was a coach at Cal, said, "Hey, I got the next Kellen Moore, Boise State's all-time best quarterback. Says, this kid is the next one."
And they offered him shortly after that. Second and 3. Gets rid of it quickly for the first down. Nice catch. Number 82, Joshua Perkins, gets the first down for the Huskies, a pickup of 10. And he had already gotten some other offers from other big schools, including Alabama and Oregon.
And Michigan, Oklahoma State. You see the passes he threw in high school, and because of his accuracy, the fact that he's a pocket passer, not a dual threat guy, because he's such a smart guy, 3.58 GPA, all those things led people to say he's a Kellen Moore clone.
And off to Washington, sidesteps a couple of defenders. Nice straight arm, but then brought down right near the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down and long coming up.
You know,
Washington.
Jones, I think one of the reasons Browning is in there, not just that he's a phenom, but the Washington passing attack was not good last year. They were 11th in the Pac-12. They were not very good. Bring him in for that, but they were also telling us that they would play more than one quarterback. And here's another one.
As scripted, KJ Carter-Samuels comes in. Number 11.
Bit more athletic, can run around a bit.
Hands it off out to the 47-yard line to Miles Gaskin, another true freshman, talented, a 3-yard gain on the play. There's a look at the resume of Carter-Samuels.
So there was a 3-quarterback competition in camp. Browning, Carter-Samuels, and Jeff Lundquist. And we've seen the 2 freshmen, a redshirt freshman, true freshman, not Lundquist yet.
Expecting to see him before the night's over. Levon Coleman coming into the ball game now. 3rd and 6. Browning incomplete. Intended for Marvin Hall, and it's 4th down coming up. Rod, how much of a factor is the noise for a true freshman with all the emotions swirling for him?
I think everything's a factor for him. I mean, he's on the road. He's playing on a blue turf. He's never played on that before. He's got defenders out there wearing blue. There's a crowd that's loud. He hasn't played in front of 36,000 like this that are screaming and yelling at him. And it's his first college game. Yeah, the emotions are there. You get through that eventually, but that first quarter, you're feeling it.
That was his first incompletion. He was 5 for 5 before that. Durkee to punt. He gets off a good one, drives it all the way back and through the end of the end zone. A 54-yard punt, nothing on the return. Broncos with the ball when we come back.
Being tied into that staff over there that are all good friends of ours, we recruit a lot of those kids. Makes it awkward. And I really haven't had any contact with those guys because we are playing them, so that's made it more awkward. So you kind of say, we'll deal with that down the road. Well, down the road's coming.
And the road ended here today for Chris Peterson. The moment has arrived.
He recruited 49 of the players on the Boise State roster and 20 of the 22 starters.
Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. They hand it off. Devin Demas brought down short of the 20-yard line. Let's go downstairs to Quint Kessenich.
Coach Peterson describing his return as awkward and emotional, but watching warm-ups, it was all awkward. The coach didn't come out here until about 7:35. There was no reunion with his former players or former assistant coaches. The crowd gave him a warm applause. It wasn't overwhelming, but clearly Coach Peterson uncomfortable with being the center of attention. Didn't even shake hands with Brian Harsin, which is a rarity. And I don't think you can blame it on either coach. It just, they were coaching their teams and didn't have the time, but it did stand out that these coaches, who are good friends, did not shake hands before this game.
Great stuff, Quint. Felt and looked to be more business than personal, at least for now.
Yeah, but if they had gotten together at midfield, it would have been, I love you, man.
Yeah.
I miss you, man.
There's no crying in football. Not on opening weekend. Peterson's team down by a touchdown when we come back.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
Well, the Buckeyes begin their title defense looking to avenge last year's only loss in a rematch against Virginia Tech, the Hokies. College football primetime, number 1 Ohio State against Virginia Tech as Boise State busts one. That's Devin Demas, one of the fastest tailbacks that they have, and a nice gain for him of 14 yards.
Well, right now, that offensive line of Boise State is dominating this game. They started off slowly that first drive, but since then, they've kind of owned things up front.
First down out by the 31. Finley sidestep one would-be tackler and makes the completion out to the 40 to Thomas Spurbeck, who led the team with almost 900 yards receiving a season ago. Another first down. Jones there to make the stop.
That offensive line, veteran guys all back from last year, really getting things done right now, getting time on passes and blowing open some holes.
Going up against a very youthful defense for the Huskies. First down and 10. And another spirited run by Devin Demas, the 5'8", 175-pound junior from Houston. Let's go downstairs to Quint.
Spent some time with offensive coordinator Eli Drinkwitz pregame. He said they had some shots baked into their opening script early in the game, but Boise operated in that first quarter into the wind. They're now with the wind in good field position. Look for maybe a shot or two down the field here.
He's a team that always likes to play with a pretty aggressive offensive philosophy. McNichols got to the edge a little bit and tiptoed out of bounds, enough for the first down, Rod.
Well, and just to follow up on Quint's point, the fact that that offensive line is controlling the rushing game makes it more likely that they will take some shots down the field. They can feel confident that should they miss a shot down the field, they can come back on second down or third down and run the football.
Yeah, one of Brian Harsin's strength this year is the people they return at the skill positions, and guys like Anderson and Spurbeck. Tight end Jake Rowe. McNichols in the backfield. Finley going up top and incomplete at the 20-yard line, intended for Thomas Spurbeck, being covered by JoJo McIntosh.
Yeah, he had him. That was the shot. They had him clearly open, but that ball was thrown to the left and outside, and Spurbeck, not known as a deep threat, got behind the corner over there.
Second down and 10. McNichols in the backfield. Trips right formation. Here's McNichols. Got a nice block and picked up the first down at the 28-yard line.
That's a young man who, coming out of high school, committed to Utah as a wide receiver, but wanted to be a running back, and Boise State said, we'll give you that shot. Worked out pretty well for him.
His teammates call him McWeapon. His Twitter handle, @theweapon13.
I like that.
You can figure out why, right?
Nice.
First down and 10. Handed off to the Stanford transfer, Kelsey Young. And Young battering his way to another first down. A pickup of 13 on the play.
Jonesy, last time they got down here, they went to a wildcat running back in a direct snap position. They have 114 yards rushing already.
You mentioned it, that offensive line doing a great job. Young again over the left side, broke a couple tackles. First and goal. Actually, he's short of the first down at about the 7-yard line. A great, strong, determined running by Kelsey Young. Young again. This time tripped up short of the first down by about a yard.
Well, Azim Victor, the middle linebacker, got in there and disrupted that play.
Washington looking for some playmakers this year, folks. They lost 3 defensive players in the first round of the NFL draft last year. 3rd and 1. Jeremy McNichols has gotten a lot of touches here in the ball game. Jay Ajayi now in the NFL with the Dolphins. And it's McNichols on the toss. Got the first down, and it's 1st and goal from the 3. Wu Ching finally making the tackle.
Not exactly missing Jay Ajayi right now. The 1-2 punch, McNichols and Kelsey Young, has worked out pretty well so far.
McNichols has 68 yards rushing already. Henley keeps it. He's run the ball pretty well already tonight. Keeping a couple of drives alive on 3rd down, picked up 1. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Yeah, I'm not so certain about that call down there. I mean, he's not your powerful runner in that situation. Let McNichols go ahead. Or Kelsey Young, one of those guys that they've shown the ability to dip their shoulder and to run over a guy. Use one of those backs down here.
Well, McNichols is the lone back. Actually, in the opposite eye, he's the deep back. Gets the call. Touchdown. And a flag down on the field in the aftermath. That's one of the captains, Travis Feeney, speaking with the official.
The result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 31. That 15-yard penalty will be carried over to the kickoff.
That penalty against Travis Feeney, one of their playmakers up front, number 41 for the Huskies. Well, they had the last extra point block, so keep an eye out here. And we often see early in the season that special teams can be a little bit of an issue for some squads.
Now let's check and make sure that he got in. Yeah, that ball's across the line as his knee touches down after he breaks the plane. That's a good call. That's a touchdown.
And keep an eye on the left side of your screen. Personal foul right there.
Yeah, right over there. You see the end of it with Feeney engaged with, looks like, Jake Rowe. And now this becomes a dangerous time for Washington. One more look. Look for the knee and look for the ball. There's the ball crossing the goal line, and there's the knee. That's simultaneous. That's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Being forced on the extra point at the 1.5-yard line.
So you know that penalty.
Did you go for it here a little bit?
Well, you got the penalty. You're at the 1.5-yard line. You've controlled the line of scrimmage. Why not?
That offensive line has done a great job so far. You pointed that out.
See, normally, Jonesy, I don't believe in going for 2 until it's the fourth quarter. You start chasing points. But when you control this and you get a gimme with the penalty, I think you take a shot. I hate it when I break my rules. There's always an exception to the rule, right?
Well, they, because of that personal foul, moved the ball to the 1.5. McNichols already with a couple of touchdowns. He's in the backfield, but they give it to the fullback straight ahead. Flags down, and Jake Rowe did not make it into the end zone.
Before the snap, false start, offense number 71. 5-yard penalty, extra point attempt.
Kick that one now.
Yeah. That changes it right back to where you were before almost. And now Tyler Rassa, first-year starter, as their place kicker. Had the previous one blocked by Buda Baker. And that's something they didn't expect because they had the same snapper and holder back from a season ago. Rassa knocks this one through. And the number 23 ranked Boise State Broncos lead it 13-0 when we come back. Download the Watch ESPN app or visit watchespn.com. Whether you're in an airport, hotel lobby, airplane.
Well, we live with it. I mean, you know, we can't get around without it.
That's a necessity. 10:26 to go in the first half under the lights here at Albertson Stadium. Boise, Idaho. Boise State leading in Chris Peterson's return as head coach of Washington. Peterson was the head coach here for 8 years, 13 years overall on the staff. But right now his squad with a lot of work to do when we come back. Much more as part of College Game Day built by the Home Depot. Wait till you see that story.
Yeah, welcome back, Game Day.
1st and 10, Browning picked off at the 30. Darian Thompson with his first interception of the season. And Rod, you're shaking your head about the true freshman here.
Well, we were just talking about that during the break, that it was a dangerous time, that you're down a couple of scores, your defense is struggling, and you're a freshman on the road. Now you might want to press a little bit to try to get something done, and that's what happens here. Underthrows this ball, and now you have a pick, and your defense is back on the field.
He was looking for Pettis, and look at the true freshman's reaction. Boise State can have this ball at the 24-yard line of the Huskies, too.
Yeah, he didn't see that Thompson was heading to the flat, and he underthrew that ball and got it picked off.
Young in the ball game. Boise State has controlled the time of possession in a big way in this game. Young broke a couple of tackles, and his forward progress going to take him to the 21-yard line. Azim Victor making the stop on the play, a 3-yard gain.
Well, they still have controlled the clock. They've controlled the line of scrimmage. That's Boise State. You look at their rushing yards. They've dominated things, and because you haven't had Boise State able to Washington run the football, a lot more pressure on the young quarterback on the other side of the field.
132 yards on the ground so far for Boise State. And he's still got 9.5 to go here in the first half. Finley out of the backfield finds his man. Pass complete to Shane Williams-Rhodes, who's been kind of conspicuous by his silence tonight, Rod, don't you think?
A little quiet, but they haven't needed him yet. He's a guy that will run reverses, can make some big plays for you, but they haven't forced anything. You know, give Finley credit. This rushing attack has been so good. He hasn't had to press, hasn't had to force anything. He's taking what the defense gives him. He's being really smart. He's being a point guard out there.
3rd down and 4 as Rod Gilmore gives us our first basketball analogy.
Won't be the last.
We got a timeout down to the field. Brian Harsin wants to talk things over, the second-year head coach. Coming off a 12-2 season, but the expectations high here at Albertson Stadium.
Yep,
that's going to be off the chain.
Big 3rd down here.
McNichols in the backfield. Chaz Anderson, one of the receivers.
Yeah, here's the guy I'd be worried about. Spurbeck in the slot. He's a tough guy, can catch the ball over the middle. They sometimes rub people off for him. I'd be worried about him.
Leading receiver a year ago. Anderson in motion out to the top of your screen. Over the middle. The pass complete, but short of the 1st down. That was Spurbeck. Brought down immediately by Azim Victor, number 36 of Washington.
Hey.
Coming straight out of Compton, number 36. That's where he's from.
Yeah, he watches film too. He was aware of Spurbeck on 3rd and short, running those crossing routes, and he jumped all over it.
They're going to go for it here on 4th and short. Looks like about a yard to go. McNichols in the backfield. 2 tight end formation. McNichols gets the opportunity. Not sure that he got it. He's going to be stoned short of that 1st down. Elijah Qualls was one of the first guys to get there for the Huskies. And this would be a huge confidence boost for the Husky defense.
Well, I think sometimes coaches get greedy. When you get a turnover, you have to get points off that turnover. You know, it's a gimme. So you take a chance, you roll the dice, you go for it, you give the ball back. There's no consequence to the turnover. So generally for me, I look at it as I don't want the 3 points, but I want to make the other team pay for the turnover, and I'm going to get points on the board, and that's why you kick it there as opposed to going for it. One thing is it's
Brian
your
Harsin.
ball. Yeah. But when you take the ball away from somebody, there has to be a consequence to him. You can't let
in
them off
spite of the fact that they've been beating up Washington up front.
I understand, but it's a gimme. You have to make them pay. Right now, they come out, they're full of confidence. They're like, that didn't hurt us at all. Browning should be feeling pretty good. Now he can think, hey, let me get that back.
The true freshman threw an interception the last time he touched the ball. Let's see how he responds. 1st and 10. A safe pass out of the backfield, but nowhere to go. Dante Dion makes the stop on Myles Gaskin. Let's go inside the helmet of this true freshman right now. Through an interception, his team is down 13-0. What are we at? Are we at DEFCON 2 here? 1? Where are we with
You're
them?
still in danger. You know, you got to wait for that last pick. It didn't cost you, but your offense has not been moving the ball. Your defense has been struggling, but for that last stop, you still have to be careful with the football.
They set up the middle screen, complete. Washington with a nice run after the catch and picks up the 1st down. Let's go downstairs to Quint.
Mark, Browning's reaction to that interception was not freshman-like. It was almost senior-like. Kind of ho-hum, put the headset on, talk to the other quarterbacks. Business as usual, really. I didn't see any residual effects on the young quarterback.
That's interesting. Remember, they called him perhaps the next Kellen Moore, right? When the Boise State staff was made aware of his talents. Washington also aware, as well as many other schools. A 13-yard gain. Right between the tackles, tough sledding for Dwayne Washington. Rod, how has the staff and Coach Smith, the offensive coordinator, made the game a little bit easier? I was surprised when they told us that there was about 75% of the package put in for the true freshman. I expected a little less than that.
Yeah, so did I. That's a lot for a youngster to handle, but they really believe he's one of the smartest young quarterbacks that they've come around.
Gaskin in the backfield on 2nd and 5. Oh, and he got rocked. Martirano was there to meet him, almost immediately upon receiving the handoff. Look at this.
Yeah, bad snap. Wasn't prepared for it. That threw things off, and then the freshman just gets pummeled by Materano. Now, you've got a 3rd down and long. The guy that you need to get involved is Jadon Mickens, number 1. He's a guy who could help out an awful lot, but they haven't really looked his way today. He's up there.
Incomplete. Behind Mickens. That's who they were going for, Rod.
Well, he can help out the freshman an awful lot. He can do things once he gets the ball in his hands, and they just haven't been able to get him involved yet. But if they do, that will help Browning an awful lot.
You know, we would be remiss if we didn't mention that one of the main weapons missing for Jake Browning, the freshman quarterback, is wide receiver John Ross, who was injured earlier. He was a major loss for this Huskies team as they punted here on 4th and 9.
Yeah, as a kick returner and as a receiver.
And good starting field position for the Broncos from the 41 when we come back. EP gets that new gig. Under 6 minutes to go here in the first half. The Broncos pitching a shutout so far here in Chris Peterson's return to Boise State. The former head coach of the Broncos for 8 years, seeing his team down. And here's Spurbeck getting ready to throw, and they tricked him. Huff making the catch for the first down.
They drew first blood on a little trickeration. You think Harson's looking across the sideline going, "Gotcha, Pete. I got mine in first."
Spurbeck, the former high school quarterback. Nice toss to Huff for 23 yards. And I have a feeling, partner, that's not going to be the first one of those we see. Or the last one, I mean. McNichols back of the game, takes the handoff. And good gang tackling and pursuit by the Huskies defensively that time. Well, Jay Ajayi was the guy that got the majority of the touches in the backfield last year, and they threw the ball to him a bunch. But what do you make of how they replaced the 397 touches he got last year, Rod?
Well, they've done a nice job of spreading it around tonight, but I think you'd have to say that the key guy is McNichols. I mean, he's been a tremendous weapon for them already tonight.
2nd down and 10. Nichols options out of the backfield. They set up the screen. That was Kelsey Young, brought down almost immediately. Back to Ajayi. Word coming just a moment ago that he cracked his ribs. And he's with the Miami Dolphins. Had a great preseason outing a couple of games ago, but last night was injured. Suffered a rib injury, but is still going to be on the Dolphins' 53-man roster.
And he's a talented player. He's got a good career, good future there.
3rd and long, Rowe in motion. Stops in the slot. Down the seam, and that's going to be an interception at the 12-yard line. The second pick of the game for the Huskies defensively. That was Kevin King with the interception. Shane Williams-Rhodes, the intended receiver. Finley misfiring that time.
Yeah, first mistake. This is the first mistake by Finley. He has him on it. He's late with this and also underthrows it. Williams-Rhodes was out there open, but what a tremendous play by Kevin King, who comes up with what could be a play to turn things around for the Huskies.
Welcome back, everyone, to Dick's Sporting Goods Kickoff Week and ESPN College Football presented by Jimmy John's. Under the lights here at Albertson Stadium. Mark Jones, Rod Gilmore, and Quint Kesenick down to the sidelines. Jake Browning, the true freshman quarterback, has thrown one interception tonight. Having a tough time, and this is first start. Gaskin out of the backfield. Showing a nice burst of speed, but he never was able to square those shoulders. Summer Gardner making the tackle on the play. 2nd down coming up, and you can't lose sight of the fact this is a very young Washington team. 50 freshmen and redshirt freshmen on this team.
Yeah, and Browning needs help from some other guys. I mean, Perkins, the tight end, could help him out. Mickens, the wide receiver. You got to get the football to those guys to take a little pressure off your freshman quarterback.
Second and 7. It's Gaskin again up the middle. At about 3, it'll be 3rd and about 4 to go coming up. And well, some of the experts pick Washington at about 4.5 wins this year, and they have a very daunting schedule. They're going to learn a lot about togetherness and being able to stick with it this year.
Still believe that's the guy.
Mickens in motion. Now sets beside the quarterback, Browning. Browning wisely throws it away, which under the circumstances you'd have to call that a good play, right, for him?
Yeah, smart play. There's nothing there. Don't let anything bad happen. Go ahead and punt the ball away.
Now, Rod, when you look at the ledger and Washington's schedule, Vegas has them at 4.5 wins, the over-under. I mean, how do you count them up here?
Look at this stretch here. Look at that stretch there. That is a tough stretch. That is rough.
On the heels of an 8-6 season last year. Durkee with the punt. And fielded by Dante Dion. And once again, after the 31-yard punt, Boise State with good field position when we come back. Welcome back, everyone, to Albertson Stadium. First down and 10 for Boise State with a 13-0 lead. They start this drive from midfield. And under the circumstances, Rod, you almost get the feeling that they should be leading by more than just 13-0. This is Demas. As we go back to the studio and Adnan Ferg. Adnan, it's great to have college football and have you in the studio, buddy.
Oh, I appreciate that very much, man. Jonesy, when you look at what's coming up in the halftime report, we're going to be focusing on what happened with regards to Michigan State. Sparty but it was tough against Western Michigan. Also stealing money. Phil Steele with some great picks for him this weekend, and Tom Brady breaks the Suns. All that more coming up. Jonesy, back to you.
You got it. A whistle in the pass ruled incomplete, intended for Chaz Anderson.
Speaking of halftime stories and the like, you saw TCU last night. We saw Baylor tonight. Neither one was overwhelming, I'd say. You know, Baylor's score ran away with it, but you know, that Big 12 race may be a lot more compelling than people believe. I still think Oklahoma and Oklahoma State are players in that race.
That certainly gives rise to who might ultimately come out of there, but you'd have to say TCU was a little bit underwhelming last night.
Timeout of the half. This will be
Timeout Huskies looking at 3rd and 7 when we come back. 3rd and 7 for Boise State coming up here. Quarterback Ryan Finley, the first-time starter. Played 5 games a season ago behind Hendrick, who was the starter.
Critical for Washington to get a stop here and get off the field and not let this get out of hand in the last 2 minutes.
Spurbeck split to the top of your screen, but they come underneath on the screen pass. And some tough, determined running by McNichols earns them the first down. Boy, Rod, he put his hat down to get that extra yard and move the chains.
Great running, poor tackling. 3 guys had an opportunity to stop him before the first down. Instead, he picks up 8 to get the first.
First down and 10, just inside the 40. Finley flushed out of the pocket, finds a man. And who else? Mr. Utility, McNichols again.
Still plenty of time for Boise State. No reason to panic. Got a $1:27 and counting, a couple of timeouts.
1:20 to go now in the first half. Pass complete. Finley and Young broke a tackle nicely and brought down a couple yards short of that first down marker. 3rd down coming up. They're going to burn one of their timeouts.
timeout. Boise State, their second charge timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
And now 54 seconds to go in the first half. Rod, 3rd down and 3. Boise State up 13-0. But as I was saying, it almost feels like they should lead by more and have this game maybe 21 or 24-0 at this point.
Well, yeah, they've been dominated by that offensive line of Boise State. They've run the ball pretty much at will. And on the other side, Washington has struggled. 9 rushing attempts, 17 yards, and that's made things a lot tougher for Jake Browning, the freshman quarterback. So they've got to find some kind of a rushing attack in the second half. But most importantly right now, they got to get out of this half without giving up a touchdown. If they give up 3 here, they can still live with that. But giving up 7 right now, if that happens, man, that's going to be a tough hill to climb for Washington with a freshman quarterback.
Now, Boise State has enjoyed good field position for most of the ball game. There you see the range of place kicker Rasa, the first-year starter. They run it and pick up the first down. Young doing the honors that time, so 49 seconds to go.
They can't get off the field.
Yeah.
They've had a couple of 3rd down opportunities to get off the field, and they haven't been able to get a stop.
Four receiver formation for the Broncos. Boy, Finley with great mobility made chicken salad that time out of nothing. Picked up 7 on the play. 32 seconds to go.
Yeah, he was running for his life. Had he had time, he would have found Williams Rhodes completely open in the end zone. But he was pressured and got out and got the best out of it he could.
The 4 receiver set here for Boise State. Rid of it quickly, completes it down to the 14-yard line, and a first down to the tight end Jake Rowe with 26 seconds to go. 1 timeout remaining for Boise State, an 8-yard gain on the play.
And if you're Washington, you're thinking, all right, you can't give up the 7, which makes it a little dicey. If you roll the dice here and you pressure to try and push him out of field goal range, you might have single coverage and some holes back there. You could give up 7.
Huskies defense defining itself here. 3 defensive players picked in the first round a season ago. Young covering up that ball with 2 hands and deep inside the 10-yard line. Clock running. Finley throws it incomplete, stops the clock with 6 seconds to go. So what do you do now if you're Brian Hartson?
I think you kick it. Hard to believe you can be certain that with 1 play you'll have a chance to get a second play, even with that timeout. You don't have enough control over it. And remember, he passed on the 3 points earlier when they had the pick.
Yeah, they went for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
Well, in comes the place kicker Tyler Rasa. And an extra point block tonight. This one coming from 24 yards out. And did Washington try and take a timeout?
There's no play. Timeout, Washington. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Well, Coach Peterson, it's only 61 degrees here in Boise, but trying to put that place kicker Ross on ice.
And the fans are booing, but, they liked it when he did that when he was here.
Yeah, funny how that works.
It's interesting that the worst loss of his career came against Washington as he was the Boise State head coach.
Yeah, score was 38-6 a couple of years ago. It's just the 4th meeting between these 2 teams, and conversely for Boise State, Brian Hartson, the head coach, says that these are the type of games we have to win. We have to beat these power conference teams whenever we match up against them.
Look, they're going to be in the running for a New Year's 6 game like they had last year. They were in the Fiesta Bowl last season. They have a chance to have another special season. And I don't think they get into the playoff. I don't think a group of 5 team will get in the playoff anytime soon. But to play in one of those top 6 games, they have a shot at that.
Don't tell that to Boise State. They're dreamers, man. The field goal is good by Rasa.
And then dream on.
16-0 lead with 2 seconds to go here in the first half, and a first half dominated by the Broncos, especially in the time of possession category. And they have really found something with that guy, Jeremy McNichols, the 5'9" sophomore from Long Beach, California. Running the ball, catching the ball out of the backfield, screen passes, putting up some good numbers tonight. 70 yards rushing on 14 attempts.
That's 17 touches for him, which we thought that might be the total for him for the night. But he's been so effective, they've just continued to feed him the football.
They're going to kick this off here, and boy, if you're Chris Peterson, what do you say to your true freshman quarterback Browning at halftime? How do you get him back in his happy place if there is one?
You tell him he's fine. We got it all, got the nerves out of our system, and let's go play in the second half.
What do you remember about your true freshman night?
I couldn't breathe after the first quarter. I thought I wasn't going to be able to play the entire ball game. Second half felt a lot better.
There you go. Well, maybe second half will work out for him, and we got something going down on the field. The first down and 10 from the 25-yard line for the Huskies. A little bit of yapping and jaw-jacking going down on the field after the whistle.
Typical.
Hey, now the game started.
Yeah.
Game really hasn't started until something happens. Browning 7 of 11, just 41 yards, and they're going to take a knee and take this into the locker room and regroup at halftime. 16-0 at the break. Boise playing their first home opener since 2009. They have the lead. Let's go to the studio for our halftime report.
Welcome back to Dick's Sporting Goods Kickoff Week.
And welcome back, everyone, to ESPN College Football, presented by Jimmy John's. It's the fourth all-time meeting between Boise State and the University of Washington Huskies. Huskies lead the overall series 2-1, but trailing here 16-0 as we get ready for the start of the third quarter. Mark Jones, Rod Gilmore, Quint Kesenick down on the field joining us shortly. So far, Rod, Jake Browning, the true freshman, who was one of the major players coming into this game, has had some brief moments early, but hasn't had a lot of time to really show much, has he?
No, they're struggling. They can't run the football. I think they're going to have to throw the ball down the field to really open things up. Their longest completion in the first half, 13 yards. That's not good enough. Boise State's defense is just sitting short, sitting in the middle, really jumping on everything, and they've taken away the rushing attack. So give them some time, get the ball down the field, and maybe they can find some offense that way.
Start of the third quarter here from the 20-yard line. It's Washington, and Washington takes it out to the 38. Let's go downstairs. Quint Kesenick joined Coach Peterson a few moments ago.
Coach, what was your reaction to the warm applause that you received twice when you took the field tonight?
Great people here.
Jake Browning, how would you assess his first half?
He's doing okay. We got to give him a little more time to throw. We got to convert some third downs. We got to run the ball better. We're not having the ball. We haven't had the ball long enough. Our defense is on the field too long, and so we got to convert some things to stay on the field. If he can get into a rhythm, he'll be all right.
Thank you, Coach.
Well, that's the first true freshman quarterback that Peterson has ever started. High school player of the year in the state of California a season ago. But this isn't high school. That pass incomplete. His receiver seemed to break the other way, Rod. Pettis turned inside. The ball went outside.
Yeah, they weren't on the same page, and Browning also took a hit on that. And you really don't want to see that happen. You see there's a corner squatting out there. That was Jonathan Motze. And so Pettis went inside of him. Now you've got that second and long. And when you don't gain anything on first down, man, it makes it really hard to keep a drive alive.
Washington now comes out of the backfield. That pass complete, a good-looking strike to number 81, Braden Lenius. And a first down after the 12-yard pickup. Can they possibly make it any easier for them? We talked about the fact they had just 75% of the offense already in for them.
Well, I think they were a little concerned in the first half about getting him calm, protecting him and not taking chances down the field. But they're going to have to do that, and that will open up other things.
Marvin Hall in motion. They toss it into the boundary. Washington with nowhere to go, brought down behind the line of scrimmage by about 3 yards. That's Armand Nance, one of the vocal leaders up front for the Broncos defense.
This defense, that front seven in particular, are really, really good. Really good against the rushing game. And when people have had success against Boise State, it's been down the field. That secondary gave up, I believe, 15 big plays over 45 yards last season.
Tough place for visitors to win games. Boise State has won 14 straight here at home. That's the third longest winning streak in the nation. Washington makes the reception out of the backfield, but far short of the first down. It'll be third down and long coming up for Washington. Look at the rush defense for the Broncos. Pretty impressive tonight.
Yeah, they've really controlled things. And when you make a team one-dimensional, they can't run the football, it makes it so much easier to play pass defense.
Going to bring the noise here on third down and 8 to go. Browning out of the shotgun, given time, plays it safe underneath. There's a flag down on the far side of the field as Coleman is brought down almost immediately after making the catch at the 45, a 3-yard gain. Let's see what this flag is all about, though.
Looks like an offsides indication against Boise State.
Offside, defense number 8, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, replay, third down.
That's Kamale Correa, number 8.
Well, this becomes one of those third downs Chris Peterson was talking about to Quint. Got to stay on the field. Got to convert some of these. Well, here's your opportunity. You get this, you got a chance to get some momentum.
Wonder if they start taking a shot downfield. Is this maybe where they'll do it? We'll see. Third and 3. They toss it. And nowhere to go. Stopped up on the play.
That wasn't Browning in. They had
Carter-Samuels.
Carter-Samuels. Now, the problem with that is when you bring him in, the defense knows it's a rushing play because he hasn't been throwing passes. So you become one-dimensional, and they look for it. I think if you're going to run it there, you keep Browning on the field for the threat of the pass.
Chico McClatcher was brought down, and they'll have to punt. Dante Dion at his own 5-yard line. Not a great punt here. Bounces at the 19-yard line. And Boise State will start from their own 19 after the 26-yard punt when we come back.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
Here's a look at the preseason top 10. Ohio State, the defending champions, TCU, Alabama, Baylor. And remember that this year, wherever you're going to your New Year's Eve party, folks, make sure that they've got a big flat screen TV or 8 so you can watch, okay?
Yep. That's what it's all about because those numbers are nice, but winning your conference, the committee says, is a huge, huge factor, more important than where you're ranked by the AP poll.
Orange and Fiesta Bowls will be the semifinal games. That pass complete. Out to number 82, Thomas Spurbeck, and the first rankings come out in November.
One of those games we saw up there, Oregon, Eastern Washington. Tomorrow, nice game for Vernon Adams against his old school in his first start for the Oregon Ducks.
Running here, this is Jeremy McNichols. Want to make a Quick correction, this is the Orange and Cotton Bowls, pardon me, that New Year's Eve. We'll want to be near a couple of flat screen TVs to keep an eye on those games.
You think people are going to make some changes? I think once they figure out, okay, I'm going out New Year's Eve, but I'm not missing the playoff game, some plans will change a little bit.
Like I said, you better have the right friends. 2nd and 7. Good mobility by Finley to escape. Feeney brought him down from behind. Travis Feeney limited the gain to 4 yards. Number 41 right there, projected to be a potential all Pac-12 player.
Yeah, and an NFL pick with a guy that is that size who can run as he does. He's about a 4'4" guy. You know, goes at about, what is it? 230, 230, 232. Speed kills.
Pretty good athlete, drafted in the 11th round by the Oakland A's back in 2011. Here's Finley, slings it. Boy, almost put it right there, but Buda Baker seemed to come over from his safety spot, number 32 right there, and rip it loose. Sidney Jones also in on the coverage on the play.
Yeah, Buda Baker can cover ground. I mean, he's an outstanding free safety. Was a true freshman last season. All-conference player, an honorable mention all-conference player. Committed to Oregon, but hometown Washington gave them the nod at the end of the day.
Yeah, led UW in tackles a season ago. Dante Pettis, meanwhile, standing back on his own 22-yard line. This is just the second punt of the ball game for Sean Whale. The ball comes down right at the 20-yard line, a 40-yard punt. Nothing on the return, and Browning's night trying to turn the corner when we come back. College football. Washington trailing Boise State right now. And you're looking at Jake Browning, the true freshman quarterback, who heads back to the sidelines. And KJ Carter-Samuels, the 6'2 freshman from Saratoga, California, going to take the reins of the Washington offense. Yvonne Coleman in the tailback.
You get more mobility, more of a run threat from Carter-Samuels at the quarterback spot.
Washington looking for answers. They've run less than half the plays that Boise State has, and that was Chico McClatcher trying to get to the edge, another talented true freshman. Hey, Peterson has gotten some good players on campus in Seattle there for Washington as Browning comes back into the ball game.
Some young guys. You mentioned there was McClatcher carrying that ball. Here's another redshirt freshman quarterback and Carter-Samuels, and here's Browning. A lot of young players, and they just haven't been able to pull it together. Offensive line has struggled too, and they've got some young guys up there.
Yeah, Trey Adams, a 6'7" freshman out of Washington as well. 2nd and 2. Perkins in motion to the top of your screen, off the play action. Nobody to throw it to, and he wisely throws it away. So it leaves them 3rd down and 2. Remember, Browning came on campus in January, which seems to be a growing trend with players now, right, Ron?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's a good thing.
Why is that?
Well, you know, back in 2002, we had 15 guys leave high school early to join Power 5 conferences. It's up to 162 in 2013, and reports are more than 200 for 2015.
3rd down and 2. Browning gets rid of it quickly, finds his receiver for the 1st down at the 35-yard line. That's Joshua Perkins. So are you trying to tell me that the prom is not that important?
Apparently not. Look, guys are skipping the prom and going to spring football practice. Now, the problem with that is it kind of reinforces the athlete first, student second thing. You go on campus for football, not for academics. For some guys that might be okay, but
right.
You know, we're seeing that growing trend, and I'm not sure that's a good thing.
Perkins in motion again. Coleman couldn't get to the edge, brought down nicely by Correa. Let's go back to that point, though. You talk about that putting the cart ahead of the horse a little bit in terms of athletics coming first, but guys, I'm guessing, as the father of a student athlete who's a junior right now, some kids do take that opportunity to get ahead academically too, right?
Well, yeah, some do, and that puts them in a position, to get out on time, and that's great if it works out the way. I'm just saying, generally speaking, that's not the trend, but some guys it works for, and this kid looks like he's going to be one of those kids that it would work for.
Little receiver screen, a lot of traffic and congestion in there. The pass was complete, but Ben Weaver immediately made the hit on McClatcher.
Just to finish that point, the big picture, there's this push in college athletics to really do more in student welfare and to really push the academic side. But when you still have this rule that says leave high school early for spring practice, a little bit of a contradiction.
Yeah, good point. 3rd and long, a popular refrain tonight, unfortunately, for the Washington Huskies. Browning in at quarterback, the true freshman. Wide open over the middle, complete at the 45. And that looked like it was close to the first down. The catch made by Lennius. Braden Lennius, the 6'5" sophomore.
Smart read, good protection here. Watch him look off and then wait for his receiver, Lennius, to come back across the middle. Reads that window perfectly. A lot of good stuff to like about Browning as a quarterback. They just haven't had enough plays tonight, haven't been able to convert on 3rd down, and they've struggled.
Well, remember, this Washington staff had offered him. Boise State saw him when he came to their camp after his sophomore year. They offered him a scholarship as well. Corey Durkee getting set to punt. Dante Dion standing at his own 17 for Boise State. High spiral, booming kick. Unfortunately, carries into the end zone. It'll come back out after the 56-yard effort. Flags down on the field. We can see what these flags are all about.
The result of the play is a touchback. After the play, personal foul, receiving team number 69. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
That's on Tyler Horn, number 69. So hold on. Did you go to your prom? Back to that point, no?
Well, I couldn't get a date.
After this. During the offseason.
Don't forget Dave Pollock and Sam Ponder.
Yes.
They'll be there.
Anything to get the edge. This is the Stanford transfer. Kelsey Young bouncing it outside, picking up a few yards on the play.
Washington is barely hanging on. They need a play. Their defense or their special teams will have to do something to give them a chance. They need a short field for the offense or a score out of the defense or special teams. They're not good enough offensively to make up this deficit on their own.
2nd and 6. Is it a matter of maybe dialing up some pressure or taking some chances here, Rod? What is it?
Well, you got to take your chances. You got to do something. Even if you don't get a turnover, a very short field, force a punt right now would help you.
Handed off up the middle. That was Young again. Be 3rd down and long coming up for Boise State, leading 16-0. The Huskies looking for a break here. Been a tough night offensively, defensively looking for playmakers. With the beginning of this new season, they lost 4 players in the first 44 picks to the NFL draft. A lot of all-conference selections included. 3rd and 6 for the Broncos here. Finley under heat, and he's going to be sacked back at the 5. So a huge play defensively for Washington. That's Corey Littleton, one of their prospective big play makers. A loss of 9 on the play, and Boise State will punt in the shadows of their own goalposts.
Yeah, and he's been quiet most of the night, but a great move with his speed and quickness to get in there and get this sack. And so now you've got a chance to get a punt return and start with the ball in Boise State territory, or to make a play and get a big return. This is what you need to get back in the game.
Sean Whale punting from deep in his own end zone. A yard off that back line. Pettis fields it at the 43. Looking for a seam and working with a short field at the 27-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 for the Huskies, and positive prospects after that 38-yard punt and 16-yard return.
Yeah, and think about the coaches for a moment here. You know, Chris Peterson, that move from Boise State where he was so successful. A lot of Boise State coaches have left, and they haven't done all that great. They haven't gotten second jobs. So if you think about what this season means for Chris Peterson, you see Dirk Cutter at Arizona State didn't get a second chance. Dan Hawkins at Colorado didn't get a second chance. Chris Peterson 8-6 last year. If they struggle this year, do you start thinking, gee, I never should have left Boise State?
Always a difficult proposition. Gaskin in the backfield. Gets the handoff and makes it down to the 26-yard line. Vallejo making the stop on the play. Yeah, Washington under Peterson last year went 8-6, made it to a Cactus Bowl game. And this year, restocking the shelves with a pretty talented recruiting class.
Yeah, but for this drive right here, get Nickens involved. Run the fly sweep, run a pick. He's your only playmaker out there. He's got to touch the football.
Coleman in the backfield, and the freshman takes off. Slides down about 4 yards or 5 yards short of the first down. You talked about Mickens. He's missing the other half of the Legion of Zoom, as the two of them used to call it, talking about John Ross, who was injured several months ago and unable to play.
Yeah, 2-down territory. Mickens in the slot. He can run crossing routes. You can pick off someone. Once he gets the ball in his hands, he can make guys miss.
On 3rd and 6. They set up the receiver screen, tried to find Mickens. And the pass incomplete, broken up by Mercy Maston. And it's 4th down and 6.
The line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the official said no pass interference because it was behind the line of scrimmage here.
Yeah, they faked the bubble and then ran one inside behind the line of scrimmage, and that nickel back in there, Maston was all over it.
No choice but to go for it.
You have to. You have to. I mean, I'm not sure they could make a field goal at this point. You'd be talking about a 40-yarder. There didn't seem like a lot of confidence with that.
3 on the play clock.
Never going to get it off.
We're going to have to burn a timeout here.
Timeout. Washington. Their first charge timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
A pivotal and a defining moment here for Washington and its true freshman quarterback, Jake Browning.
It looks like Chris Peterson might be asking the right play, or do we kick this? If you kick this and just took the 3, at least you'd be on the board, get a little momentum. That big goose egg up there that keeps staring at you, you know? But I just didn't think from talking to him earlier that they had a lot of confidence in their ability to make a field goal from this distance.
Cameron Van Winkle was 20 of 24 last year, had a very good year. And he comes in.
Yeah, most of those were inside the 40 for him.
The backup quarterback, one of them, Jeff Lindquist, is the holder here, so keep that in mind. From 40 yards out. And finally,
he got it.
After almost 3 quarters of play, Washington is on the board in 2015. Back with more after this. Boise, Idaho, I'm Mark Jones, chopping it up with Rod Gilmore and Quinn Kesenick down on the sidelines. The Huskies on the board after that 40-yard field goal by Cameron Van Winkle. And here comes Boise State. Jeremy McNichols on the kickoff return in a huge collision at the 24-yard line. A big blow delivered by Azim Victor. First down and 10 from there for Boise State. The Husky defense had a nice sequence the last time they were on the field.
Well, they've done a better job of keeping McNichols in check since that first half when he kind of had their way with them. He looks like he was a little banged up, just gave the thumbs up sign. I'm okay to get back in there.
And that continuing one of the points of emphasis this year in college football. There are going to be in some games, depending on the conference, observers up in the press box and in the booths up above looking for players who might be dinged that the coaches might not see. Azim Victor making the stop after the 1-yard gain by Finley. Let's go downstairs to Quint.
Mark, the sense I get right now downfield side on the Boise sideline is this offensive line. This is a point in the game where they have to assert themselves and show their dominance. Very experienced coming into tonight, 95 starts. They've been poised and organized, really assignment sound. Marcus Henry took the blame for that last sack, but they have not been as physically imposing in the second half as they were in the first.
See if they can reestablish themselves here, Quint. Good point.
Well, I think Quint's right and he's onto something, but the other thing is that we're seeing more run blitzes by the Washington defense. Those linebackers are attacking the line of scrimmage. There's almost no respect for the thought of Boise State throwing the ball down the middle of the field.
Chaz Anderson, one of their deep threats. Shane Williams-Rhodes as well, who's had a quiet night by his standards. Spurbeck now splits out to the top of the screen. Finley comes back that way and it's incomplete. Sets up a 4th down.
A little bounce for Washington, a field goal, a 3-and-out.
Now they've Washington's defense has been able to keep a pretty good eye on Shane Williams-Rhodes, Boise State's leading receiver last year.
Yeah, Sidney Jones did a nice job on that last play.
Another quick 4th down and another punt. Sean Whale, 3rd punt of the night for him. Came after it a little bit, but he got off a great punt all the way back to the 24-yard line. This is Pettis on the return, has a wall set up, got a block, still in bounds. Pettis shocking them here at Boise State. Touchdown. Got a great block from Joe Mathis along the way. "76 yards in all." And Washington right back in this game. The Huskies came after it and just missed it by that much.
And Austin Pettis, he gets the picket fence on what would have been a block. When you go for a block, you should not get the picket fence. That's just hustling back by those guys to really help out. And Pettis showed off some skills there. And he comes from a long line of great athletes in that family.
With the extra point to follow. In a quick turn of events and momentum shift, Washington could be down by just 6 points.
I called him Austin Pettis because his cousin was at Boise State.
People here don't mind, Rob. Don't worry about it.
I get you. But you know, his dad, Gary Pettis, is a Major League Baseball coach.
Player.
Was a high school summer league teammate of mine.
Yep.
Wow. Back in the day.
Pettis with some lineage behind this talented run into the end zone. And folks, we got a new night and a new day for Washington. Dante Pettis with an electrifying 76-yard punt return for a touchdown to make it a 16-10 game. Washington silencing the sellout crowd of 38,000 here at Boise State, as they've scored now 10 points in the last 1.5 minutes. It all started with that defense getting some of that momentum. Let's take one more look. What was the key, Rod, on this?
Well, everybody did what they were supposed to. They go after this, and you shouldn't be able to get a great return when you try and block it, but they don't get there. But everybody sprints back to get where they need to be. Now watch. Make two guys miss, and then find the picket fence. They set up the fence. Pettis does his job, makes two guys miss with his speed and quickness, and then look at all the blocks. The picket fence is set up, and they pick them off one by one by one, and all of a sudden the Huskies get that big play we were talking about to help the offense.
This defense has produced consecutive 3-and-outs. McNichols in the backfield, little play fake action. A first down pass complete to Jake Rowe, the tight end. Out to the 39-yard line, a 14-yard gain and the first down for Boise State.
Huskies were hanging around. They were on the verge of being knocked out of this ball game, but they got a field goal, a third down stop, and a big kick six.
Taking a shot, peeling the top off the defense, incomplete. He had Chaz Anderson and barely overthrew him. He got in behind Darren Gardenhire as well. Boy, that was close.
Timing. First week of the season. You saw it last night. You saw Michigan miss a couple big throws. Here you see Finley miss one just a little bit. Maybe you lay out, you come up with that one. That one hit his hands, but timing in week one just a little bit off.
Sets up a second down and 10. One of the few times we've seen them take a deep shot on the draw play. McNichols with nowhere to go, and you can see, you can sense, Quentin Kessenich reported it moments ago that right now in the trenches, that Washington Husky defensive front seems to be winning that battle.
Well, they're bringing the linebackers. Yeah, they're no longer trying to sit back and read pass or run. They're attacking the line of scrimmage and shutting down the rushing lanes.
3rd and 9, and a nervous cheer coming down from the stands here onto the field. A blitz. Finley got away and escapes for the first down. Wow. The Huskies had him in their grasp and let him slip away for a 15-yard gain.
Yeah, they've gotten more aggressive. Pete Kwiatkowski, the D coordinator, brought the blitz, brought 5. They get there, but they miss the tackle. And Finley's feet picks up the first down.
Vieira with a missed tackle on the play. First down and 10 now from the 45 with time winding down in the third quarter. There he is again, McNichols on the run, out near another first down. A 10-yard gain by Jeremy McNichols, who's done a great job tonight for the Broncos, moving the chains on the ground and through the air and receiving. That's the end of the third quarter. Pettis with the punt return really turned things around for the Huskies. Fourth quarter coming up. As we start the fourth quarter here, Mark Jones, Rod Gilmore, Quint Kessenich down in the field. This game has really turned around in 90 seconds in the third quarter. And Washington got back into the ballgame. Finley keeps it on a quarterback run. Vea with the stop.
They got the short field. They got the field goal. Then they converted on third down. They got a stop. And then they got the punt return.
And Finley now coming out of the ball game, and that usually means wildcat. Kelsey Young in the game. They fake the fly sweep. Young keeps it. He got hit. He put it on the ground, and the Huskies recover the loose ball. Recovered by Joe Mathis. And Washington got the break they were looking for.
Have things gone the Huskies' way the last 5 minutes or what? That ball gets poked out. Kelsey Young, the transfer from Stanford, a fifth-year transfer who's graduated, came over had been running well tonight, but that one got punched loose.
And Joe Mathis right there, number 5, pouncing on the loose ball. Dwayne Washington to the backfield. Jake Browning, true freshman at quarterback. A little bunch formation. He comes back the other way, though. Pass complete to McClatcher. Jonathan Moxey making the stop on the play. 1-yard gain on the play.
Still nothing downfield.
When do you take a shot? Usually after a turnover like that, you sometimes like to pop the top a little bit, don't you?
They just haven't been. They don't want him knocked around, so they're trying to get the ball out fast. And Boise State is sitting on everything short and intermediate, and so they don't have anything deep.
2nd and 9. One tight end and one back end. 3 on the play clock. They get it off in time, and Browning fires a little bit high. Incomplete. Intended for Dante Pettis, who had the punt return for the touchdown. Dante Dion defending on the play. So now it's 3rd down and 9. Jadon Mickens' time, what do you think?
Well, yeah, but not with the routes they've been using him on. They've only run him on, the shallow cross.
But a quiet night for him.
Yeah, you got to get him outside. Got to rub somebody off. Give him a chance.
He's in the slot to the bottom of your screen. A little blitz coming, but they pick it up, and Browning has all kinds of real estate in front of him and slides in safely for the 1st down at the 44-yard line, a 12-yard gain. And the true freshman showed a little bit of poise under duress.
Not considered an athletic quarterback, considered a pocket passer, but you saw right there, he has a sense and feel for the game. He knows when to take a chance and run and pick up a key 1st down.
From the 45, 1st and 10. Dwayne Washington in the backfield, 3 receivers in on this formation. It's Washington. And that pile moved nicely for the Huskies. A gain of about 3, close to 4 on the play. Weaver making the stop.
Don't you think Browning has grown in this ball game since we saw him careless with the football in the 1st half and throw that pick?
Still waiting for the training wheels to come off altogether, though, right?
Yeah, they haven't really let him just cut it loose. But he's thrown the ball away. He's made better decisions, thrown it short, hasn't put them in harm's way with the football ever since that pick in the 1st half.
Mickens is split wide to the top of your screen. Browning rolls that way and wisely throws it away.
Nothing wrong with coming back to play the next down.
How tough is that to teach a true freshman if you're the head coach like Peterson or the offensive coordinator?
It's tough to teach juniors and seniors. It's tough to teach NFL quarterbacks because the nature of that position is I want to make a play, I can do it. And teaching guys, hey, come back the next play is hard to do. And here it is. He comes back for 3rd down.
He's 13 of 22 for 77 yards and 1 interception. Got to get to the 45 for the 1st down. Browning has an alley, broke a tackle, completes it for the 1st down at the 37-yard line. Dante Pettis right there when they most needed him. There was a missed tackle by Vallejo, but a 15-yard gain and another Husky 1st down. Now there is a flag down on the field.
But when the hat comes off, that's usually a sign that someone went out of bounds and came back inbounds, usually the receiver that they're watching.
Illegal touching, offense, number 8. Number 8 went out of bounds, came inbounds, and caught the pass. This penalty is loss of down at the previous spot, 4th down.
And now see, if you go out of bounds on your own voluntarily, you cannot be the first when you come back in to touch it. If you are forced out, you can come back in and touch the ball.
Wow, that's a killer for the Huskies. One more look.
No one's around him, so he stepped out of bounds on his own voluntarily and then came back in and made the catch, and you cannot do that. That's a good catch by the official over there, because a lot of folks missed that.
Yeah. He just lost sense of where he was on the field.
Yeah, exactly.
So Durkee comes in to punt. He had 19 punts inside the 20-yard line a season ago for the Huskies. This one fielded at the 21 on the run by Dion. He made a couple guys miss and is brought down at the 29-yard line, and a flag down on the field. A couple of them actually, one at the 23, one at the 34. And things getting a little bit hot here in Boise. I think the Husky players thought that Dante Dion was still live after the hit, because he did pop right back up and continue to run.
We've talked about this before. Sometimes guys get up and they act like they didn't go down or they were on top of someone, and so naturally as a defender you got to go get them.
Makes sense. Here's what it looked like.
Now if we start treating these things as everyone's dead, no worries, no problem. But you can't tell. When that guy pops up like that, you don't know if he's actually down. We saw that in a championship game where Michael Dwyer, people thought he was down, they stopped playing.
Illegal block in the back. Return team, number 20. This penalty is 10 yards, first down.
And good job by this crew of separating folks along the sideline and not giving us the ubiquitous multi-personal fouls on each team.
Well, things got a little heated there on the sidelines, and you know, the last time they played a Pac-12 team, Oregon, here in 2009, it ended ignominiously. Welcome back, everyone. 16-10 ball game, 11:52 to go, and let's take a look at tonight's home field advantage, brought to you by Quicken Loans. Arizona State taking on Texas A&M, and A&M the home team, so to speak, in this. It's 95 miles away.
At
Houston.
last.
Yeah.
At last. Pac-12 SEC playing. Love it.
See if this Husky defense can come up with another big play.
First down is huge. They need a no gain or a tackle for a loss.
This is McNichols. Nowhere to go. Going to be a loss, actually. Well, he got back to the line of scrimmage. Travis Feeney starting to assert himself a little bit more here as the night has gone on. McNichols approaching the 100-yard mark.
Yeah, most of that in the first half. And in the second half, Feeney and Littleton, the outside linebackers, have been much more active, and they've created.
Well, they're one first down, as you pointed out there, Rod. Again between the tackles, and boy, those guys up front, Qualls, Tupou, Mathis, making the stop that time. A 1-yard gain, 3rd and long.
Partner, if you're Harsin, what do you think? I mean, you've got an inexperienced quarterback. He's played pretty well tonight, but do you trust him enough down here to take a chance, or do you trust your defense more? I'd be conservative and trust my defense a little bit more right now.
They've taken one deep shot all game. Pass almost picked off, and it's incomplete. Broken up by Darren Gardenhire. Wow, that was close to an interception, Rod. The intended receiver, Chaz Anderson. Instead, it's 4th down, and a bad sign for the Broncos as Anderson limps off the field in pain.
Yeah, he's their deep threat. And this Washington Husky defense has become more aggressive as this game is wore on. And I think they felt they had to make the plays, and they're doing it to give themselves a chance. One-score game.
Dante Pettis, who had a punt return for a touchdown, they blocked it! They got to it this time! The Huskies blocked the punt, and they're going to have great field position at about the 28-yard line. Who was it? It was Jadon Mickens, the receiver, who's had a tough time catching passes tonight, and it looked like he's paying a little bit of a price for blocking that.
Wow. That guy has kept his head in the ball game, even though they haven't gotten the ball to him. He's hanging in there. And what a story with how he wound up at Washington. He's a young man who really committed to USC and then backed off of that. And then his buddy, his high school teammate, Hall, said, hey, I'm thinking about Washington. I know you're thinking about Oklahoma State and Oregon. Let's play video games for it. And he lost to Hall, and Hall said, you're coming to Washington with me.
After all those visits and all those phone calls. 1st and 10. Browning out of the backfield, complete. Washington gets inside field goal range. Jonathan Moxey making the stop. A 3-yard gain. They played video games to see where a guy would go to school.
And Chris Peterson said yesterday, you see, you spend all that time recruiting and it means nothing. It comes down to guys playing video games.
Little receiver screen here to the other side of the field. Pass complete to Chico McClatcher. A 2-yard gain. 3rd down coming up. They're in field goal range. Do you play it safe here or do you take a shot?
You don't want to give up the chance to get 3. So Browning has to be reminded, no sacks here. He's been smart with the football. I trust him to throw it, but you need to remind him, no sacks here. Throw the ball away if you get pressure.
3rd and 5. Got to get to the 17. Browning, a little contact, and that's going to be pass interference. Multiple flags on the field. Jonathan Moxey was in on the coverage. The pass was incomplete, intended for Isaiah Renfro. Here's the call.
Pass interference, defense, number 2. Spot foul, automatic, 1st down.
Moxey shaking his head there. First-year starter. He's been one of the surprises of the Broncos camp.
Yeah, that's one of the freshmen, Renfro, that Moxey was all over. And now, Jonesy, hard to run inside on these guys. I like Linnaeus, 81, the 6'5" receiver. Corner route, fade route.
Big target. They run it. Washington. Nice spin move, but a good tackle at the 15-yard line by Summer Gardner. Summer Gardner limits the gain to 1.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to run the football in here. I think you have 2 guys who can make plays for you in the red zone. Linnaeus, 81, and also Perkins, 82. Now they're 6'4", 6'5", athletic. They can get up and make plays. And they're hiding somebody back there.
They get up to the line quick. A little trickery there. And the run by the Huskies to Jadon Mickens leaves them with a 3rd down at about 5. So Peterson with a little prestidigitation here, a little trickery, sleight of hand, and look at that.
I'm glad you explained that big word.
Boy, you're going to see a little bit of everything with Harsin and Peterson on opposing sidelines. 3rd and 4.
Fade to the top is where you have your 6'5" receiver, and Perkins, 82, to that side also.
Perkins motions into the boundary. They come back the other way. Browning with all day to survey and throws it away.
Smart.
4th down. And you're looking at a field goal situation here. Braden Linnaeus, the closest receiver, but boy, the true freshman probably made the right play there, Ron.
Yeah, I mentioned he's been working with Troy Taylor since he was 10 years old. Troy Taylor played quarterback at California in the late 80s. And is an excellent quarterback coach, excellent high school football coach, and he has taught him well how to play the position and be smart. And he's thrown that football away.
Van Winkle made one earlier, makes this one from 28 yards out. And if you're a Boise State Bronco fan, you're wondering, why haven't we put these guys away yet? Lots to go when we come back. Quarterback.
Yeah,
and who's going to be number 1?
They may play 2 or 3 of them tomorrow night.
Boy, and what a switch in momentum here in Boise, Idaho at Albertson Stadium.
It's been all about special teams and defense for Washington in the 2nd half.
Kick will come back out to the 25-yard line. Special teams always a factor early in the season. This was the blocked extra point early by Buda Baker.
Yep, dead in the water until they got this kick six by Dante Pettis. 76-yard punt return, only touchdown. And then how about blocking a punt, setting them up for a field goal? So 10 points created by the special teams and one PAT knocked out of the sky.
7:29 to go, and if you're the Husky defense, you're feeling pretty good about yourselves right now, and see all the smiles and levity on the sidelines for Washington. We've come back from a big deficit here. Make it a ball game. And a sack back at the 21-yard line. Joe Mathis once again. He was the one that got that fumble.
And nobody was open. And Finley early on had time, looked down the field. You'll see he's looking to his right, nothing there, nothing in the middle, and too late then. Good pressure off of Finley's right side.
And the Huskies defense wins first down.
You know, winning first down has become so huge in today's game.
2nd and 15. McNichols hit almost immediately, brought down at the 20-yard line. Corey Littleton, another one of those potential playmakers for the Huskies defensively, setting up a 3rd and long. Okay, Brian Harsin, what are you dialing up?
Well, I think after what we saw, that other ball was almost picked. You're conservative here. I think it's a screen, it's a draw. I don't think he's going to take the chance of dropping back and trying to throw one down the field. Quarterback hasn't been protected lately.
William Rhodes motioning out to the top of blitz, and he got rid of it.
Jonesy, I'm telling you, this whole second half.
Wow.
Washington has brought the pressure. Even on first down, they've brought the run blitzes to stop the rushing attack that killed them in the first half.
There was a receiver in the area. 4th down.
Being more aggressive for this young defense has really worked for them.
I'll tell you what, Feeney Rod is saying, we respect those guys that were drafted by the NFL last year, but this is a new day for this Husky defense, and Feeney, as well as Mathis and Littleton, making names for themselves.
65 yards in the second half for the Boise State offense.
See if they can get another big punt return. Dante Pettis ran one back for a touchdown earlier in the 3rd quarter. This one is going to be downed at about the 29-yard line. So the true freshman, Jake Browning, making his first collegiate start with a few minutes to make some memories when we come back. Time winding down here in Boise, Idaho, under the lights at Albertson Stadium. It's a 16-13 ball game. And let's take a look at our game track, brought to you by Straight Talk. The true freshman, 15 of 25, 82 yards, 1 interception, but that doesn't mean much right now. He's got 6:03 to make some plays and lead his team at least to field goal range. And once again, wisely, throwing it away.
Well, his chance to follow in the footsteps of some pretty good Washington quarterbacks. Warren Moon, Sonny Six Killer, back in the day.
You had me with that one at the production meeting.
Sonny Six Killer.
Washington, right?
Yeah. Mark Brunell, Billy Joe Hobart,
Billy Joe,
Jake Locker. Shall we go on?
Great lineage. 2nd down and 10. Browning gets rid of it quickly. Little one-on-one on the edge, and Mickens makes the defender miss and picks up about 8. A missed tackle by Dante Dion.
Yeah, they're searching for a way to make a play because they haven't come up with big plays on offense. I mean, the longest play from scrimmage, a 13-yard pass. Wow. Now, they had the 76-yard punt return by Pettis, but from the line of scrimmage, they haven't picked up big plays, and right now they just need a yard.
3rd and 1. Washington in the backfield, 2 tight end formation. Little play action. They were going to throw it. Browning. Whoa, almost completed it, but it's incomplete. miraculously escaped a couple of tacklers. Would have taken a sack, and breathing a sigh of relief, and thought he had one there, Rod.
Yeah, he thought he had one, but knew that he didn't have the guy open he wanted initially, and tried to extend the play. That's not really his game. He's not a running quarterback, but he bought enough time to give him a chance, but it was not to be. Now, Boise State has a chance to salt the game away if they can have a 4-minute offense and pick up some first downs.
And this one's going to bounce all the way into the end zone and come back out to the 25, a 62-yard punt. Nothing on the return. And the Husky defense right now, with 5:18 to go, has to feel that, based on the way that they've been playing the last 4 or 5 series, that they can get the ball back for the offense and give them another opportunity.
Yeah.
Let's go downstairs to Quint.
Boise's offensive line, which was so dominant in the first half, struggled in the second half. During that last commercial break, or that last Washington series, excuse me, offensive line coach Scott Huff telling his guys, it is what it is, and you guys have to man up, going after him for the first time tonight.
So much to be decided in the trenches with 5:18 to go. A fumble! A loose ball, and McNichols pounced on the loose ball. They're going to lose a few yards. They look rattled.
Yeah, this pressure has really unnerved them in the second half, and this has been about the speed and quickness of the Washington linebackers. See them attacking the line of scrimmage. They're bringing 6-7 guys on first down, thinking in terms of run blitzes.
Loss of 5 on the play for the Broncos. Ball just inside the 15, 2nd and 15. Between the tackles, it's McNichols stacked up for a gain of 3 on the play. It'll be 3rd and about 12 to go. The clock running with 4.5 minutes to play. Not a great fourth quarter.
You know, the other thing,
for
Jones,
Boise State.
You know, this hurry-up offense doesn't bleed any clock. You know, if you're thinking about a lead and protecting it a little bit, you know, you run a little bit more clock. Not here.
3rd and 12. They've got to get to the 30-yard line. Got rid of it quickly, and a first down, but there's a flag down in the backfield at the 14-yard line. Williams Rhodes made the catch and run for the first down, but let's see what this flag is about.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 41. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's against Feeney. A 13-yard gain. And we'll tack some more yards on. Let's take another look.
I don't know. He was pretty close there. He didn't take a full second step. Tried to hold off. Close call. Go either way on that one.
All the way out to the 46 now. McNichols sets in the backfield and takes the handoff. He has been the safe guy tonight. He has been the security blanket for quarterback Ryan Finley. Tupou makes the stop for the Huskies on the gain of 4.
Struggle with the football there, too.
Yeah.
That one bobbled, and that's the second time he's bobbled the football on this drive. And again, 3:20 to go in this ball game. If you start to slow the clock down instead of the hurry-up offense, you put more pressure on Washington.
Is that their nature, though?
Well, whether it's your nature or not, it's smart football, you know. And why give them a whole lot of time if you don't pick up a first down?
2nd down and 6. Spirited running that time by McNichols. Picks up 3 yards, under 3 minutes to go. 3rd down coming up now. And they're looking at about 3 to go here.
Well, if you're Washington, no reason to change now. You bring pressure. You think running play inside, and you actually hope your secondary holds up if you get fooled.
8 of 17 on third down conversions tonight. And he passes it, but a great open field tackle after the catch immediately by Sidney Jones. He brings down the tight end row, and the Huskies are going to get a chance here, perhaps,
timeout, Washington.
to get the ball back.
Immediate timeout.
As we look at a fourth down and into the eyes of the precocious true freshman. Will he get another opportunity when we come back?
The players, cheerleaders, the hooting and hollering, foot stomping, bands rocking. Every team.
The Buckeyes begin their title defense, looking to avenge last year's only loss in a rematch against the Hokies. College football primetime, #1 Ohio State against Virginia Tech, Monday at 8 on ESPN and streaming live on Watch ESPN.
Braxton Miller, just remember.
High snap. A fair catch called. There's a flag thrown. It looked like the punt returner, Dante Pettis, had his progress impeded as he tried to make his way to the ball by Cameron Miles, a 39-yard punt.
Impeded it, and he got in the way, too.
That, too, yeah. He stopped him up, man. I mean, saw the flag come from the back judge.
Kick catch interference. Kicking team. 15-yard penalty.
15.
Automatic first down.
That is a huge break for the Huskies as we take another look here.
He calls for the fair catch.
Oh, he might have sold that a little bit.
Well, no, he had a guy in his way, and he couldn't get to the ball, and he pushed him out of the way. His right. He's got a right to go get that football.
And these Bronco fans a little bit on edge. Under 2 minutes to go. The ball out to the 35, 1st and 10 for Jake Browning. Finds his receiver, Washington, out of the backfield. Broke a couple of tackles into Bronco territory at the 45-yard line. They've got one timeout remaining. It's 1st down and 10, a 19-yard gain for Dwayne Washington.
That's their longest play from scrimmage tonight.
On the 46. Browning a little bit high, incomplete. Dylan Summer Gardner there for coverage.
They need to settle down, relax. The Huskies have plenty of time. $1:42. They've got a timeout. No reason to feel like they need to rush and get it all in one play.
Cameron Van Winkle is the place kicker. Will he get an opportunity, or will they take it into the end zone? Browning overshoots his receiver and behind Joshua Perkins, incomplete. And now looking at a 3rd down and 10. He had a lot of time on that. Didn't seem to have a lot of options, though. Obviously, you're looking at 2 plays from here, not just the one. And they're going to blow the whistle dead before the play. I think Boise State might have gotten a timeout before.
Boise State. That's their first charge timeout of the half.
Wow.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
Wow.
Please reset the clock to 1:35.
Now, that doesn't make any sense unless you somehow looked out and you saw you were short a guy, you had a problem, because you had Washington in a tough spot. Now you give the freshman quarterback an opportunity to talk to his coach, and his coach is going to remind him, we've got 2 downs to pick this up.
We got a little glimpse of what they were thinking there with that play that was called back.
So they don't have to think about picking up 10, but get close enough so that they have a 4th down that's manageable. So that timeout helps Washington more than it helped Boise State, unless they looked out there and they were short a guy or something.
Wow. Mickens, one of their big threats, lines up in the slot to the right of the quarterback, Browning. Washington the lone back. Browning surveys, fires a strike down to the 32-yard line. That's enough for the first down to Lenius.
Well, Mickens has been running that inside route and drawing defenders away, so they brought Lenius in behind him to pick up the first down. Nice play.
1:21 to go. Browning takes a sack back at the 36.
Can't do it.
That hurts. Correa got there first.
You have to be aware of where the field goal is, where you are in relationship to that. And they need to be at least inside the 30.
That's the first Broncos sack of the game. Fires complete, wide open. Pettis all the way down to the 19-yard line. They're in field goal range. They've got a first down, 1 timeout remaining, and 53 ticks on the clock. Browning, Mickens got a block on the edge, and there's a flag down.
I think it's a face mask.
Wow.
I think Mickens was trying to get to the edge, and I think his face mask was grabbed over there.
Holding. Offense.
I know.
Number 81.
Wow. The other way.
10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
41 seconds to go. Lenius, the perpetrator.
Okay,
right
so
there.
Lenius is blocking. He gets the face mask there.
Wow.
Yeah, that's going to push them back.
Still well within the field goal range of Cameron Van Winkle.
Right now you're looking at about a 46-yarder. That might be stretching him.
Yeah. His career long is 51. Oh, and they sacked him back at the 40. Browning was greeted by a host of tacklers. Taimatutia was one of the guys to arrive there quickly.
Breakdown up front, but that's on the quarterback again. That's just you.
Wow.
You cannot take a sack here. Ball's got to come out. You see the head drop. You see him look down at the rush.
All the way back at the 37-yard line. Justin Taimatuia. A big sack for Boise State. It's at 2nd and 28. 36 seconds to go.
And Marcel Yates, defensive coordinator with Boise State, dialing up a little bit more pressure on this series, recognizing that the field goal is critical, pushing the youngster back out of field goal range.
Well, Cameron Van Winkle was very accurate last year. Only missed 4 field goal attempts. Was 20 of 24. Was honorable mention all Pac-12.
See that green line?
Yeah.
That's where they would like to be. That's their comfort zone.
We're on a screen. Washington brought down inside the 30 at the 29-yard line by Vallejo. 25 seconds to go. Washington out of timeouts.
Close to the green line.
They spike it. They are close to that field goal range green line we have marked there.
Yeah, they're just a couple of yards away from it. So you're looking at about a 45, 46 yarder.
Cameron Van Winkle, 5'10 junior, was 20 of 24 last year. 21 seconds to go for the tie. And Boise State is going to try and ice Van Winkle.
Timeout, Boise State. Their second charge timeout.
This is going to come
This will
from
be a
46 yards
timeout.
out.
You know, partner, at halftime, Washington looked like they were dead in the water and had no business in this game. This was all about Chris Peterson and his return, and they looked like they had no chance of putting any points on the board. And here they are right now with a chance to tie this game and possibly send it into overtime.
And remember, one of the big plays in this game was that missed extra point by Boise State. It was actually blocked by Buda Baker. Well, Van Winkle is 5 of 7 from this distance in his career. This is for the tie and to potentially send it to overtime. And he pushed it right. He had enough leg, but he pushed it just wide right by that much. And a disappointed head coach, Chris Peterson, who is used to being on the other end of things like that, especially here when he was the head coach for 8 years at Boise State.
Well, this is one occasion where the mentee, Brian Harsin, will beat his mentor, Chris Peterson, in his return home to the place where Peterson made his name as a head coach.
Boise State on the verge of their 15th consecutive home win, which is the third longest streak in the nation. They're 56-2 at home here, dating back to 2006.
These two men did not meet at midfield before the game. They're good friends. Chris Peterson lamented the fact that they hadn't chatted in about 6 months because of this ball game.
Well, it's about the present, not the past anymore for Boise State, as Harsin gets the victory over Washington. Coming up next at SportsCenter for Rock Gilmore, Quint Kesnick. I'm Mark Jones. Thanks for watching, folks. What a start. Good night from Boise.